Parties are present, and I believe we have a witness. Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. Will you please state and spell your name for the record?
Angelica Hudson, Angelihudson.
And Detective Hudson, how are you currently employed?
I currently work for the Galveston County Sheriff's Office as a detective.
How long is it that you've been a detective with the Galveston County Sheriff's Office?
I've been with the Galveston County Sheriff's Office for 12 years. I began my career in 2013, and I was on patrol first.
Now, so you said you've been with the Sheriff's Office for, you said 12 years?
12 years, yes.
And you began in 2013?
Correct.
What was the first role you had in 2013 with the Sheriff's Office?
I was a patrol officer.
How long was it that you were on patrol with the Sheriff's Office?
3 years.
Let me go backwards first. Before 2013, were you in law enforcement or something else?
In law enforcement.
When did you first become a member of law enforcement?
1998.
And what did you do in order to become a member of law enforcement?
I attended a police academy at the University of Texas Police Academy in Austin.
And is there any sort of certification in which you must hold in order to become a licensed peace officer?
Yes, at the end of the police academy, you take a state test through TCO, and if you pass that exam, you receive your basic peace officer license.
And is your basic peace officer license something that once you have it forever, or do you need to have any sort of continuing education?
There's a continuing education, constant training you must take within the 2 years of each cycle, and it just depends on you have a basic, intermediate, or master peace officer license, what classes you need to take.
And which of those peace officer licenses do you hold?
A master peace officer license.
And what is different from a master peace officer license versus a basic peace officer license?
Basic is you take certain courses. When you get to be masters, you have more years of service, more years of experience, more training through TCO.
Now, once you passed your teacher certification, what was the first job you had within law enforcement?
I worked for the University of Texas Police Department, where I was a police dispatcher for 5 years.
And where did you go after that?
After that, I was a patrolman.
Sorry.
With the same agency for approximately 2 years.
After that, where did you go next?
In October of 2006, I worked for the Dickinson Police Department as a patrol officer.
And how long were you with the Dickinson Police Department?
7 years.
And were you always a patrol officer, or did you hold any other roles there?
I was also the field training officer, also an officer in charge. Basically, when the supervisor wasn't there, I assumed that role.
And is that when you moved to Galveston County Sheriff's Office?
In 2013.
How long was it that you were on patrol with the Sheriff's Office?
Approximately 3 years.
And where did you move to within the Sheriff's Office after that 3 years?
In 2016, I was promoted to sergeant over the bailiff division.
How is that different from being on patrol?
Being on patrol, you're the first responder. When you receive a call, you go to the house or you call them. As a sergeant for the bailiff division, I was responsible for 3 buildings. This building, security for this building. I also did the payroll administrative duties.
So 2 very different but important roles within the Galveston County Sheriff's Office. Is that fair?
Yes.
Where did you move to after being a sergeant in the bailiff division?
In 2021, I was promoted to the rank of detective in the major crimes unit.
And what is a detective? What do you do as one within the major crimes unit?
So as a police officer, you respond to the call. If an offense has been committed, they take the offense report, the initial offense report. We follow up on those offense reports. We work anything from a theft, an assault, burglary, to crimes against children, to homicides.
Now, before I get into a little bit more of what it is to be a detective, do you have any other extra training or certifications that if I asked you for a highlight reel, what would you tell me?
I carry right now I have a bachelor's of science in criminal justice with a minor in psychology. I also have over 4,200 hours in TCO training, and in those training hours, I've taken homicide investigation, intermediate interview interrogation training.
And are those all extra trainings that assist you as a major crimes detective?
Yes.
Now, when you were a major crimes detective, you gave us a list of some of the types of cases you may be investigating, but how does a case get assigned to you?
Two ways. Your supervisor either assigns you a case or you're the on-call detective.
What does it mean to be the on-call detective?
Every 8 weeks, it's a rotation list. When you're on call, you begin on that Monday, you follow it to the following Monday. You receive all the calls. If something occurs within the city or Galveston County, then you respond to the call if they need you.
And as far as Galveston County, what areas of Galveston County falls under the sheriff's office purview, or is it all of it? How does that work?
It's mainly the unincorporated areas of Galveston County. We respond to Bay Cliff, which is also Bay Shore, San Leon and Bay Cliff. There's some parts in Santa Fe, Dickinson, and Bolivar Peninsula, Crystal Beach, those areas.
And then are y'all also available to assist any of the other agencies within the county?
Yes.
Now, when you're the on-call detective, you stated that you get calls coming in from these areas, correct?
Correct.
How do you determine whether or not it's something that you need to respond to?
The patrol deputy, when he responds to it, if he thinks he needs some help, he'll call you. He'll give you the details of the call, and at that time, if it's serious, like this case, you respond to it.
So, since we mentioned this case, I want to focus our attention towards February 6th of 2025. Do you recall that date?
Yes.
Were you an on-call detective or not that week?
Yes, I was the on-call detective.
Did you get a call as the on-call detective that led us to be here today?
Yes.
What was that?
I received a call from Deputy Touch, who responded to a welfare check.
And why was it that you were called?
He requested, he said it was a possible homicide and needed detective and crime scene to respond.
And I know, so Deputy Couch says it's a possible homicide.
Right.
If there is any decedent on scene, does the sheriff's office typically send a detective out?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because we respond to suicides, we respond to homicides, because we follow up on those, and we have more training than the patrol officer that responds to it. We've been trained to look for certain things.
When you answered that call from Deputy Couch, was there a location in which you responded to?
Yes.
What was that?
4723 15th Street, Galveston County, Texas.
And- Thank you. And what type of location was this?
It was a residential.
And what did that location look like?
It was a single-story home. It was a typical household.
Once you arrived, what was the first thing that you did?
I spoke to Deputy Touch. I also made contact with the crime scene investigators that were already on scene.
And who were those?
It was Patrick Ryan, Angela Schaefers, and Rachel Martin.
Once you made contact with those individuals, what was the purpose of those contacts?
To get the details of the call, to see what else transpired since they last called me.
After you got that information from the crime scene investigators and Deputy Couch, what was the next thing that you either observed or did?
I contacted my supervisor. They're responsible for sending more additional units if I need assistance.
And at that point, did you determine if it was better to have more detectives come on in?
Yes, it was.
Why?
Because there was several things that must be done to follow up on a homicide.
And is it fair to say that certain types of cases may need more hands helping than other types?
Yes.
And so is a homicide one of those bigger cases?
Correct.
Once you contacted your supervisor, what was the next step that you did?
I saw that Detective Bernard arrived on scene. There was also a witness on scene who was in the driveway.
What was that witness's name?
Terry Uton.
Now, without telling me anything Mr. Uton said, what was his demeanor? How did he seem?
He seemed distraught. He seemed sad. At times he was crying. And then he told me she's in there.
After you spoke to Mr. Uton, what is the next thing that you did?
I did an initial walkthrough of the residence. I checked the interior, the exterior, just to assess what occurred.
And generally, what was your observations upon doing a walkthrough of that home?
As I entered the living room, I saw that there was a purse on the floor. It had some red stains on it. There was cards laying around it. I had a driver's license. I looked over. There was a Christmas tree in the living room, and there was guns leaning against the wall. I noticed that there was a bag of dog food, some containers of water, and I continued further into the house.
What did you observe further into the house?
I went into the dining room. There was a dining room table, a large freezer, and then I went into the kitchen. There were some dirty dishes in the sink, some trash in the trash can, just normal stuff in the kitchen.
Did you move to another room after that?
Yes, I turned around and there was a hallway leading off the dining room area that contained 2 bedrooms and a restroom or a bathroom.
Did you go into either of those bedrooms?
Yes, I went to all the rooms in the house.
What was the first room in which you went to?
There was a bedroom that had a bed in it with, it looked like a girl's room because I saw a Hello Kitty mirror on top of a desk. There's posters on the wall. It was dirty. There was items just all over the place, clothes. There was a pillow on top of the bed. Recall there being some blood on it. There was also another pillow underneath the desk, and I noticed some blood on that. There were water bottles full of urine, just Dr. Pepper cans everywhere.
And that area under the desk with the pillow and the bottles of urine, what did that area appear to be to you?
It appeared like someone was laying there, just staying underneath there for comfort. There was water. There was a bag that was pushed against the wall, and it had empty bottles of water. It appeared like someone was staying under there and they were urinating in these water bottles and then putting them to the side. Also, I found some underneath the bed.
After you observed that room, where was the next place that you went?
There was like a plastic bucket or a container. I noticed that there was in the hallway, right by the door frame, there was a magazine, and it had the initials JK written in black marker.
Did you learn through your investigation what that JK meant?
Yes, JK stand for JC King, or he also went as Butch.
And who was that?
He was deceased. He was Terra's grandpa and Tammy's husband.
And you stated there was a magazine lying there?
Yes, with those initials.
After observing that magazine, where did you go next?
I went right, which was the bathroom. It was the typical bathroom. There was I did observe some pajama bottoms on the floor, but there was nothing that stood out in that room.
And where'd you next?
I went down the hallway, the opposite end of the hallway, and from the bathroom. And there was another bedroom, but it looked like it was used for storage.
Was there a bed or anything that appeared like someone slept in there?
No.
After going through that storage room, where was the next location that you went?
I was informed that there was an additional room leading off the kitchen, and I didn't see it at first because it was covered with like a sheet. And so I pulled back the sheet, and it was an entryway to the back of the house. There was a door back there.
And did you observe anything out of place or of note in that back room?
Yes, you couldn't get through it. It was blocked by a washer, and there was also like some containers that were pulled forward. It appeared like someone was trying to block that door.
And do you know if that door in fact was blocked? Could you open that door?
No.
After going through that room with the laundry appliances, where did you go next?
I went back to the dining room area, and there was a master bedroom in the back.
Now let's talk about the master bedroom. What did you observe within that bedroom?
So as you walk in, you see a body laying on the bed. She's faced up and she's unresponsive. She has a smell of decomposition, and I noticed there's several sheets on her face and kind of on her chest area.
Did that strike you as abnormal?
Yes,
Why?
because she wasn't moving, she wasn't speaking. It was just, we knew that there was a death, but we didn't know at that time what occurred to her.
And the way the sheets and linens were positioned, did that seem like something natural or that was normally on the bed, or how did that appear to you?
No, it appeared like someone put these sheets on her face.
Other than, or did you identify who that woman was?
Yes.
Who was it?
Tammy King.
And other than what you observed about Miss King and her positioning on the bed, what else did you notice about that bedroom?
It looked like it was ransacked. There was items like pills on the floor. As you go around the bed, there was a safe that was like a small portable safe that was by her foot. There were some papers on the floor that belonged to, it was a deed paperwork. Over by the safes, they were open, and right near the safes, there was a big blue container that had guns in it. There was just items just thrown on the floor around the safes.
And did the contents of the safe appear like they'd been gone through? Was it empty, full? What did you observe
It
there?
was empty, like they moved those guns into that container that was right by it.
And just to be clear, we don't have any way of knowing what was in the safe, or you didn't at that time have any way of knowing what was in that safe previously, correct?
No, correct.
But you could tell that it seemed like things had been removed. Is that fair?
Right. It was more ransacked in that area specifically.
What else did you see besides that ransacking of the safe area?
There were clothes there were some that were folded, there were some that were on the floor. I noticed that it was just, there was a restroom and there was like a mattress, like a foam mattress pushed against the door. You couldn't go into the restroom.
Was there anything else within that bedroom that you observed, or did you start moving to another step in your investigation?
No, so after I saw that, I exited the house.
And what did you do after exiting the home?
I went around the corner. I was told that entry was made in a window on the side of the house. So I went to look at that, and the window was broken.
And was that the only entry point that you saw in the house, or is that how you knew that someone had gone in?
Someone had gone in, but there was another entry.
Where was that?
On the back of the door, on the back of the house, there was a door, and the window was broken on that, but there was no way to open that door.
And did you learn who had broken both the back door and that side window?
Yes.
Who was that?
Terry.
After observing those windows kind of around the house, what was the next thing that you did?
I went, there was like a carport shed, and I glanced in there, and it was just typical, just hard work, lawn care, and things that you would find in a garage.
After observing that, how was that carport covered or closed?
It was just a tarp. It wasn't, there was no door on it.
After observing that carport with the tarp, what did you do next?
I went to speak to Detective Bernard, and at that time, we spoke to Terry.
Without telling me what anything said, after speaking to Terry, did you know if there was anybody else that was supposed to be in that home?
Yes.
Who else was supposed to be in that home?
Terra King.
And you recall how old Terra King was at the time?
17, I believe.
Once you knew there was supposed to be somebody else in that home, what was the next thing that y'all did?
So after the interview with Terry, it was decided that Detective Bernard would draft a search warrant.
Why is it that you draft a search warrant to go into a home?
There was no one there to give us consent, and Terra also had an expectation of privacy, so a search warrant was drafted.
And once that search warrant was drafted, what did you do next?
Once it was signed, crime scene investigators went in to process the scene.
And did you go in at the same time with them, or what were you doing?
No, so when they process the scene, they have to take pictures, and no one is allowed in the house until they're finished with the pictures.
After, back up a little bit, about what time was it that you got sent out to this scene?
So it was the morning of the 7th. They contacted me. Can I look at my notes real quick?
Absolutely. If you want to refresh your memory and then look up at me once you feel refreshed.
I don't have the accurate so I was contacted on February 6th at 2300 hours, but I didn't respond until after on the 7th, the morning of the 7th.
And is it because 2,300 hours is 11 o'clock at night?
Yes,
So when you responded, it had crossed over that midnight hour.
correct.
So at this point, when crime scene is taking all of their photos, are we still moving into the early morning hours of February 7th, Friday?
Yes.
After they take all of their initial photos, what happens next?
Then we, additional detectives arrived on scene, and then we started searching the house for anything that would lead us to where Terra was at.
And what sort of things, if any, did you observe within the house that to you were pertinent or that made you take note?
Just that she wasn't there. I returned back to that white freezer because since we found Tammy in the house deceased, I was just checking to make sure she wasn't anywhere in the house.
And was there any sign of Terra still being inside the home?
No.
While y'all were searching the house, what else did you observe?
Just that it just didn't seem right. She was missing. The dog or animal that she had was missing. And at that time, the medical examiner arrived after the house was, the crime scene investigator processed the scene.
And when the medical examiner investigator arrives, what do they do? What is their purpose?
So they go and they look at the body. They determine what occurred.
And at that point, did you observe Mrs. King?
Yes.
Previously, when you spoke about Mrs. King, she had some sheets and linens and things on top of her, correct?
Yes.
Did you observe Mrs. King as those items were removed?
Yes, so they took a video recording of the items, the sheets taken off her face, like one by one.
And what did you observe?
I observed she had an injury to the left side of her head.
And from your training and experience, did you have an opinion as to what that injury was from?
Yes, it was a gunshot wound.
After observing the medical examiner investigator and the blankets coming off of Mrs. King, what was the next thing that you did?
So at that point, we determined it was a homicide. CID began working as a team.
And is that something y'all typically do?
Yes, on big scenes like that, yes.
And when you say you start working as a team, what does that mean?
We began looking for people to interview, witnesses. We also canvassed the area for video.
And do you know if video was located?
Yes.
What was that?
There was cameras on a house across the street from Tammy's house.
And who collected those videos?
Detective Espinosa.
Now, while you were doing these interviews and canvasses, did you learn of any other individual who you may be looking for?
Yes.
Who was that?
At first we knew him as Percy, and then we later found out it was Uriah Urick.
And what relationship did Percy or Uriah Urick have to Tammy and Terra King?
It was Terra's boyfriend and just an acquaintance or a friend of Tammy's.
And once you knew you were now looking for Terra and Uriah, did you know how old Uriah was at this time?
Yes.
How old was he?
18.
Now, what did you do? What were you able to do with the information that you were looking for a Terra and a Uriah? Is there anything that can be done when a 17 or 18-year-old cannot be found?
Yes.
What is that?
So Terra was entered into NCIC as a missing person
Why just Terra?
because she was missing from the house.
And is that because we didn't know whether or not Uriah had even been there?
Right.
So once you enter Terra in as a missing person, what else do you do?
So as you enter or enter as a missing person, the surrounding agency will know, and in case they come in contact with them or her. And then there was a press release on the Gadsden County Sheriff's Office Facebook posted.
And is that something that is typical for the Sheriff's Office to do?
Yes.
And why is that? What is the hope when y'all enter a press release out on social media?
If anybody has come in contact with that person, they'll call us. We'll provide a phone number. My number was on there as well as dispatch.
So is it fair to say it's kind of a hope for community support?
Correct.
Now, when you posted that press release on Facebook, was there anything else that you were working on, or that you also did? I apologize.
Yes. We began looking for Tammy's phone in League City.
And why were you looking in League City?
Because we received information that they might be in League City.
They being Terra and Uriah?
Terra and Uriah.
And you said you were looking for Tammy's phone, correct?
Correct.
And is it because you're getting information that Tammy's phone might be sending information from League City? Where or who went and looked in League City?
Sergeant Mitchell Stevenson and Detective Brian Bernard.
Were they able to locate Terra or Uriah in League City on Friday?
No.
Due to that press release, did you start getting any information?
Yes, several people called. Over 20 people called, and we began interviewing people.
Did you begin interviewing people on that Friday?
Yes.
Who all did y'all interview on Friday?
So we interviewed Shauna Bridgen, Nathaniel Anderson, Christian Atkins, and Rigoberto Veristieva.
And just generally, I'm going to ask kind of the relationship of each of these people. Who was Shauna Bridgen, and how was she related to anyone involved in this case?
She is Uriah's mother.
Okay. And Nathan Anderson is whom?
Nathan Anderson is a friend of Terra's.
And then Christian Atkins?
It's the same.
And Rigoberto Garcieta?
And the same.
So you made contact with all of these individuals. And what was the next thing that you did or next step in your investigation?
Can I look at my notes?
Absolutely.
So then from those interviews, we were able to come up with a timeline of events of Terra and Uriah.
And what timeline roughly what was the first thing that you were able to determine as part of the timeline?
That Tammy died the morning of February 5th.
And what sort of things led you to that determination?
Because of information we received from Instagram.
And how do you receive information from Instagram?
Search warrants. We obtain a search warrant, we send it to the law enforcement portal, and Meta will respond back if they have any information on that account.
Now, you determined from the Instagrams that Tammy King died the morning of, you said the 5th, correct?
Okay.
And that is February 5th?
Correct.
And that is a Wednesday, correct?
Yes.
Now, what was the next step in the timeline that you were able to determine?
From the video we obtained from across the street, we knew that a black Nissan belonging to Rigoberto arrived at Tammy's house.
Do you know about what time that was?
I don't recall now.
If the surveillance video said 12:48, would that sound about right to your memory?
Yes. Yes, it was 4:01, correct.
All right. So Rigoberto picks them up a little after lunch time. What is the next part of the timeline that you're able to determine?
So Rigoberto drives them to a location in Pearland where Christian Atkins works.
And then where do they go from there?
So they wait for Christian Atkins to get off work, and at that time, he drives them to his house in League City.
Now, we heard League City a little bit earlier in this story talking about Tammy's phone. Is the area you were looking for Tammy's phone roughly where Christian Atkins' home was? After learning that they went to stay at Christian Atkins' house in League City, what was the next part of the timeline you were able to determine?
So they stay at Christian Atkins' house till that Friday, which was the 7th.
And are you able to determine where they went to after Friday?
Yes, so Travis Hodges picks them up from Christian's house and transports them to Laredo.
And how do you know that Travis transports them to Laredo?
Because Travis's lien holder is Lone Star Motors, and his car is equipped with a GPS.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
I don't do that. Your Honor, I moved to investigate 489 and 490, which is the Lone Star Records GPS data and the accompanying DRA.
Okay.
489 and 490 will be admitted.
And may I publish?
Yes.
So you stated the lien holder had GPS on the vehicle, correct, Jim?
Yes.
And what company was the lien holder?
Lone Star Motors.
Now, when you reached out to Lone Star Motors, how did they deliver that GPS data to you?
Through email on an Excel spreadsheet.
guys, we start pretty zoomed out, but is this page 490, that large Excel spreadsheet that Lone Star Motors sent you?
Yes.
What date was it that you said Travis picked them up?
On the 7th, February 7th, which is a Friday.
Okay. I'll try that a secondary way. All right. Try that again. Are you able to tell me this first date and time, what that location is?
February 3rd, 2025.
Zoom in a little bit more. Right.
February 7th, 2025.
At what time?
1:14 p.m.
And where is Travis Hodge at that time?
Galveston.
Now let's move forward. What is our next timestamp?
February 7th, 2025, 7:44 p.m.
What location is Travis at?
League City.
And are you familiar with this area?
That's the main, it was the main road in League City.
And is that close or far from where Christian Athens was living?
I don't know exactly where, I know that Christian Athens lives at 310 Waco.
And we know that's in Lake City?
Correct.
Okay. So we see Travis is in the same city that Uriah and Terra live, correct? Okay. Where's the next location that Travis goes to?
The location in Alvin, Texas. Yes, in Alvin, Texas.
And then about 2.5 hours later at 10:44, where are they?
Lewis, Texas.
Are you familiar with where Louise is?
And 59, I'm assuming south. I don't know exactly.
No problem. And 59 generally, where does 59 run through?
Through Houston.
And then does it also go south towards Mexico? Like
Yes. Yes.
Okay. After Louise at 10:44, where do you see them next?
Overton, still on 59.
Okay. And then about an hour after that at 2:59 a.m., what location are they in?
Laredo, Texas.
What is significant about Laredo in this case?
Because that's where we located Terra and Uriah.
So what did this GPS data help tell you as part of your timeline?
When they were in Laredo.
And is it also y'all's belief, y'all being the sheriff's office and you being the detective, that this is their trip to Laredo?
Yes.
And that Travis is driving them, right?
Yes.
And then we see at 3:44, where are they?
3:44, they're in Del Mar, in Laredo.
And then about 2 hours later at 5:57, where is Travis's vehicle?
Freer, Texas.
And then we see it come back to that same Louise we saw earlier.
Yes.
And by what time, and this is all on the morning of the 8th, correct?
Yes.
So by the morning of the 8th, is Travis back for the most part in town?
Yes.
And from your investigation, did Terra and Uriah return with Travis from Laredo?
No.
Once you determined that Travis had taken them to Laredo, what were you able to determine about Terra and Uriah's timeline from there?
If they were they had left with Travis and they were in Laredo at that time.
And what sort of
about them.
Thank you. And what sort of steps were y'all able to take, or were you able to take once you knew that they were in Laredo?
We contacted the agency. We contacted the U.S. Marshals and DPS task force.
And what sort of things were those agencies able to do?
They were, they located them on the 9th.
And the 9th would have been what day of the week?
I believe it was a Sunday.
Do you know where it was that they located them?
They located him in front of a store, but prior to that, they had found him at the Motel 6 on video surveillance.
Once they were located, what was your next step?
So once they were arrested and transported to Webb County Sheriff's Office, I went to Laredo with 3 other detectives.
And what was the purpose of going to Laredo?
I needed to retrieve their property, and also I wanted to speak to them.
Now, when you arrived to Laredo, did you have the opportunity to speak to either Terra or Uriah?
Yes.
Which one?
Well,
And without telling me what anybody said, how did both of them seem? What was their demeanor?
they were, Terra, she wanted to talk to me. She seemed, she really didn't have an expression, honestly. She wasn't happy, she wasn't sad. She wanted to know where Uriah was. And that's the only question she really asked me, is where is Uriah?
And what was Uriah's demeanor?
He was quiet. He didn't want to talk to me.
Did he have any sort of emotions, or was he similar to Terra and just kind of straight-faced?
Straight face, just very quiet.
After you arrived at Laredo, did you also collect their property?
Yes, I was told that there was a phone call made, and when I asked for the property, they asked me to come back the following day.
And did you do that?
Yes.
After collecting the property and the phone calls, what did you do next?
So I collected their property, then I went to DPS, and I met with John Miller to collect their additional property.
And what kind of property was it that you collected from Special Agent Miller?
It was the property they were found with. There were guns, clothing, things like that.
Once you had collected all of those items, what was the next thing that occurred in your investigation?
Can I refer to my notes?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I returned to the Galveston County Sheriff's Office to submit all those evidence, all those items that I just mentioned.
And were there any other types of warrants that you drafted or helped draft regarding Terra and Uriah?
Yes, on that Saturday prior to leaving to Laredo, I did.
What did you draft?
Credit card and debit card abuse on both Uriah and Terra, and then capital murder by way of robbery.
And were there any search warrants that you also helped draft or produce?
Yes, the original search warrant at the house, and also I assisted with the Instagram search warrants and subpoenas.
And did you also assist with DNA search warrants?
I did, yes.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'm handing you what's been marked as states 487 and 488. Do you recognize these documents?
Yes,
How do you recognize them?
I wrote them.
And do they appear to have been altered in any way other than the state sticker that's on them?
No.
Your Honor, state moves to admit states 487 and 488.
Objection.
487 and 488 will be admitted.
Detective Hudson, what are those search warrants for?
Their DNA, a sample of Uriah and Terra's DNA, Laredo.
Now, do you see the individual that you know as Uriah in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you please identify him by where he's seated and an item of clothing?
To the left of me with a gray shirt. Greenish.
A greenish shirt?
Yeah, gray.
Your Honor, may the record reflect this witness has identified the defendant.
Record so reflect.
Once you returned back from Laredo, what further steps, or I guess let me put it this way, once they've been apprehended, does that mean your investigation ends?
No.
Why not?
We continue looking for leads and evidence, gathering evidence.
What other sort of leads or evidence gathering did you do after they were apprehended in Laredo?
I was contacted by Sergeant Fowler.
And what was Sergeant Fowler, without telling you what he said, what was it you did in response to Sergeant Fowler calling you?
I responded to a traffic stop that he was on.
And who was that traffic stop of?
Travis Hodge.
And did you meet with Travis Hodge?
Yes.
Did Travis Hodge agree to speak to you?
Yes.
And after meeting with Travis Hodge, again without telling me anything that he stated, what did you do?
There were some keys found in his vehicle that were given to Detective Bernard. He signed a consent to search form and allowed us to search his storage facility, Unit 191.
And upon searching that facility, do you know what was located?
Yes.
What was located?
2 guns and some ammunition, some magazines.
And when you once you receive those guns, what do you do, or what does your agency do with all of the property that is obtained and evidence that you collect throughout a case?
Depending on what it is, it's sent to DPS lab to be tested.
How do you determine what gets sent to the DPS lab?
So we had a meeting to discuss that. DPS limits the amount of items that are sent to the labs. So we decided to send the guns, the projectile found in Tammy's body, a shell casing found in the bedroom, and items that appear to be blood.
Now, as the lead detective, do you receive all of the lab reports that come from DPS?
Yes.
And do you use those in making a determination as far as your case investigation?
Yes.
What information, if any, were you able to determine from the lab reports regarding the firearms and the ballistics?
So the projectile found in Tammy's body was consistent with the shell casing found in her bedroom, and both items were consistent to belong to the firearm found in the storage unit, the AR-556.
And with the safe that we spoke about earlier,
Let me stop you right there.
Yes, ma'am.
It is 5, and I try to be consistent and let you all leave at the regular time. But tomorrow morning, I have a docket that I must tend to, so we're going to start at 10. So you'll be able to beat some of the traffic by staying in. And we will have delicious coffee for you.
All right.
See you tomorrow morning.